And before we begin, folks, just like to give a land acknowledgement here. So we acknowledge at Rural Roads that the campus is located on the traditional lands of the Lekwungen peoples, the Songhees and the Esquimalt First Nations. And it is with gratitude where we live, learn, and work here, where the past, present, and future of Indigenous and non-Indigenous students, staff, and faculty come together. So grateful to be here with you all. And of course, I am delighted, folks, to be joined by some wonderful people today. I'll introduce myself. My name is Ariana Kinjerski. I'm an education specialist here at Rural Roads. I'm also pleased to be joined by Dr. Moira McDonald, who is the director of the School of Tourism and Hospitality. Hello, Moira.
Thank you so much, Ariana. This is lovely. I am also in Langford today. I did not drive to campus, which is only a few minutes from my home, but I am enjoying joining you today from my home, and I'm looking forward to carrying on this conversation. I'll pass the microphone over to my wonderful friend and colleague, Faye.
Hi, I'm Faye. I'm the program associate at the School of Tourism and Hospitality Management. So my main job is to supporting our undergrad students and the programs. Lovely to see you all.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And we also have our wonderful enrollment advisor, Andrea Boyes. So thank you so much as well. Andrea will be helping out in the chat today as well. And to get us started here, folks, I'll just give us a quick overview. I'll give us a brief overview of the Rural Roads University experience, some program information, some admissions and how to apply, and then any questions that you have, feel free to pop them in the chat as we move along. And just some quick alumni statistics here for you, just to kick us off. So if you are new to considering Rural Roads, you might ask yourself, what makes Rural Roads different? So I want to share these numbers with you. From our alumni, 93% of our alumni say that Rural Roads has positively influenced their personal and professional lives. 92% say that they felt supported by staff and faculty. 90% say that Rural Roads provided them with the tools and knowledge required for a leadership role in the workplace. And 89% say that Rural Roads provided them with the tools and knowledge needed to be innovative in the workplace. And I'll also give you a brief introduction to our space. We have our beautiful campus here in Langford or Colwood. We have to the top left, you might have seen this building before. This is Hatley Castle. It's a very famous movie set over the years. So films like X-Men and Deadpool have been filmed here, and a whole host of other films as well. Beautiful building. And then we also have a variety of gardens and green space on campus. So you'll see just to the right of that, we have a photo of our Japanese garden. We also have a migratory bird sanctuary on campus. So just to the bottom left, this is one of my personal favorites. That's our Esquimalt Lagoon that we have on campus. And then we've also been doing online and blended learning styles for well over 25 years now. So to the bottom right, that is our homage to our online learning. And we're also proud to be certified as an Ashoka U Changemaker campus, which is an innovative approach to education that prepares students as they address world problems, encourage others, and act for the good of all. And folks, we're also pleased, brand new offering to be offering undergraduate years 1 and 2. So you'll see a variety of certificates and diplomas here that are brand new to Rural Roads offered on the screen. And then of course, more information about this is on our website. And at this point, folks, I will pass it off to Dr. Moira McDonald, and she'll take us through some program information. Take it away.
Thank you so much. I love the word homage. I'm going to use that this week. It's a good word. Yes, the Changemaker space has been brilliant. So I would recommend anyone who has a chance to take a look at that. I am very grateful to be here and to talk about our BHTM. This is an exciting time to be in our school with the upcoming September enrollment. We have many things to talk about today, so I'll try to move through them efficiently, but please know that if there are questions afterwards, you can reach out to any of us to answer them. The idea of studying at Rural Roads has been really something very exciting. We have class sizes that allow you to get to know people in the room, so you do make those connections and friendships and that network of people that you'll probably know for a very long time. We have a great amount of enthusiasm towards our out-of-class learning as well. So we'll take you on field studies and move about the province. during the degree completion time with us. So when you enter us into the 3rd and 4th year of your studies, coming from a diploma, or as you will find out later, also a flexible admission, any of those spaces that you will enjoy being out and about, no matter whether it's in a hospitality lens, luxury brand hotel lens, or in that tourism or adventure lens. So we'll aim to satisfy both of those participant needs that are coming in to get this great degree. It is an applied degree in that you do have opportunities to work within that degree in co-op education. So we'll talk about that as well. We have great international opportunities and exchanges. We get very excited about our students that go abroad for a semester and come back. We've got career development at our a tremendous amount of folks that are at our beck and call to come and help with that career development space. So a network of amazing individuals in and around our university in this city, as well as across BC, that are interested in working with you. So we do quite a lot of that early career development work to get you where you want to be, starting from where you are right now. So when I talk about those career paths, I think about the kinds of things that might, instill, that passion that you have, and to promote that, bring that innovation and imagination forward that you might be interested in. You might have any of the careers that are listed on the screen, and maybe others that you're thinking of. I have been really interested in the amount of skills that you get in a degree with us that can transcend other spaces. So you may decide to take the degree and work in any of the spaces that you can see on the screen here, because they are really, really interesting to you right now. And then you can fast forward 3 years and be working in them and say, you know what, I think that these skills I have and the education that I have can transcend into another area. So you can move on into other areas in the spaces like real estate development, government policy and planning could be a cooperative space for you to look at right now. Also, so many different opportunities. The amount of career-minded individuals that are calling us for our graduates and our in degree students is it is so happy just to see how many of our graduates are working and calling us to get more graduates. So there's that network that we have that is amplified by yourselves. So now you're out working, you've moved into supervisory positions, you're in a position to hire people, and you're calling back saying, hey, Faye, hey, Moira, who do you know that would fit this position? And oh my goodness, I don't even know how to describe how beautiful that is. And it's exactly where we want to be. So we have our graduates, both in the master's and undergraduates, calling to fill positions that are getting very exciting for us to see. And that's been probably one of the bigger benefits of having the network that we have in this city and in this province. And I would also just mention the kinds of things that you might be interested in. We have instructors that are faculty here, and also we have instructors that are professionals in their field, and then they come and teach to you as well. So they could be general managers. Well, they are general managers of the hotels in our area that come and also will teach to our students directly. So if that is a space that you're interested in, it's very, very interesting, because your instructor could also be your person that hires you at the end of the course or at the end of your degree. We also have a tourism leadership space that I think has just been getting so exciting. We teach to that entrepreneur in you. We look at policy and planning and government, spaces like transportation, entertainment, recreation, and in the policy and government community. I know right now places like BC Ferries is very interested in hiring through our programs and looking to all of the institutions that are teaching and training folks in their undergraduate and their applied degree to come and work with them. So it's a very, very exciting time to be in both the aspiring hotelier space and in the tourism leadership space. So we study on campus, we have experiential learning where we go out into the field and we get you to choose. So pretty soon Faye is going to show you a slide, and I think it's going to be really easy to see which courses on which choice that you have. You'll see the courses that will split for you. So you'll take either the hotel focused courses in hospitality, or you'll take the tourism focused courses in that tourism leadership lens. So you'll see that momentarily. Just to take a big bite out of our experiential learning piece, we have so much going on here, and it is supported throughout the university. There's where did we just come back from, Faye? We just did the Whistler field trip, and and then the summit, sustainability summit, which was Nanaimo, which was incredible. We have a case competition that we're focused on for this fall in Kamloops. So we hope to put a team in of 4, and if we have 2 teams of 4, that would be great. So we hope to get to Kamloops for that Tourism Travel Research Association event. We have internships, co-ops that are vibrant, paid, and will hopefully amplify your experience as a student on campus. We also have semesters abroad where folks like myself and Faye will sit with you and figure out where you'd like to go and what you would like to do with that time. So in that co-op education, you can work here, or you could go abroad and then continue your co-op where you are. So if it's timed right, let's say you decide to go to Innsbruck, I think is on our next slide. You go to Innsbruck, you can have a semester abroad there, and then you can just stay there and work with us. Thank you so much. Work with us to get the co-op experience. So here's just some great photos of the things that we just finished doing. And I see Whistler in the photos, and I see Nanaimo up at BIU, and the Impact Conference, for those of you interested in the tourism lens especially, was very powerful, again, here in Victoria. And the keynotes from that global conference join us, and they give their time and their energy to our students, and we're always very grateful for that. So those connections and networking is pretty powerful. Without them inspiring and leading, we would not be where we are. So we're really grateful to those keynotes. We have different aspects of tourism to look at. This is an Indigenous tourism outing. We were at the Indigenous Learning Center in Whistler, always a welcome and inspiring time with our students. And then looking at the adventure tourism side of things with Whistler, we get quite busy with that and expand out, but we're also staying in the luxury brand property so that students who are interested in that hotel space can live and breathe both. And then we take also a hard look at things like our sustainable development goals in each of these field study spaces, and we offer out students to understand what problems are available to solve within these spaces. So poverty alleviation, accommodation for employees, places where people can thrive in their community, because we know in tourism and hospitality that a good place to live is also a good place to visit. So we try and mirror those with the educated graduates that go out and do the good work in these spaces, because this particular career focus is billions, $100 billion to the Canadian economy. So there's no shortage of interest in the work that you would do. On this slide, you can see some of the things that we hope to inspire you to be a part of. Each of these opportunities are available to you. We don't hold back on participating and competing across the country and in British Columbia. So at any point where any of this serves your purpose, we are happy to be a part of your life in that space. I don't know if there's anything more here at Bay. You've been heavily involved with the Young Hospitality Summit in Switzerland. I don't know if you want to speak to that.
Yep. This is usually once a year, annual event that we encourage our students to participate in. Usually, typically, we send a team of 2 or 3 to go there for the Young Hotel Hospitality Summit in Switzerland. And also, as Moira mentioned, we're also part of the TTRA case competition. That's usually in the fall. And this year, we'll be in Kamloops. And we're hoping to send our undergrad students, one team there as well. Yep.
And I hope you come too.
Yep, it will be
Lock me
exciting.
in. Yay!
Yay. I will be happy to. It was
Oh,
so lovely out in the field trip, It's part of the experiential learning, but also part of really get to know each other and connecting with your peers. And also there are just so many opportunities out there. And there's so many networking, and they could all be your potential employers in the future. So yeah, all the opportunities are out there and building all the connections.
yeah, and guess what? We're hosting in January 2026.
Hmm.
So this was an idea, this sustainability summit was an idea that came from one of our colleagues at Royal Roads and is now back to us to do. So our Camosun friends and wonderful neighbors, they hosted the second year. Our wonderful friends at Vancouver Island University hosted just this past month. And now in January, it's back to us to do. And so we hope to continue that good work. And our students will help with the event side of it and help plan it and help manage it and lead it and highly contributing. Thank you so much, Faye. And our schedule, so down to the learning and the nitty gritty of the schedule. I think when I look at all of the courses, we are staying as current and nimble and aligned with what's going on in the industry, how generative AI is taking a large opportunity to learn more about that in the tourism spaces, how our tourism partners are using Gen AI. And we look at that from the digital communications space. We are heavily focused into that climate action and how we can do that from a tourism and hospitality lens. Just being in Whistler on the field study last month, we were told that Whistler has hired a sustainability manager, the Chateau Whistler Resort, the Fairmont, a full-time position in their hotel, which really tends to, give you a good message about where the hotel industry is going from a sustainability standpoint. And I know at Impact last month, the Fairmont Empress did a beautiful job speaking to the food and beverage space and how they're working on reducing food waste, reducing the carbon emissions from food waste, because that affects climate. Like it was a third country on the list is food waste from carbon emissions. So they're tackling all of those things as well. So if that is of interest to you, those courses are taught. And there's also the courses in marketing and human resources management. So if you find your passion might lie in HR, we take you through that as well. That's taught by a certified professional in human resources as well. So core faculty member. We get into things like ethics and how if you have ideas about things, how we can keep your ethical lens on that so it keeps you safe and keeps your participants safe. And each of these styles of courses will have a set of learning outcomes and assignments that are all tied to it so that you can have a good look at it. Some of the assignments are in a traditional final exam space, and some are non-traditional where it's a video or recording or you produced an artifact. There is some teamwork in many of the courses, but not all. And we also have a team coach that helps with all the nuances under teamwork because we value being able to work on a team as a career opportunity as well. So those are the pieces that we work on pretty carefully. And then the last slide for Faye and I will be this one. And I bet you can figure out now which courses you'd be taking if you were moving into the hospitality side of the hotel learning, or you would stay into the tourism leadership side. You can see here, and I'll just hand this slide over to Faye, maybe to give a little overview.
Yeah, just quickly. So, as Maura mentioned, so basically the program you'll have two directions. One is more focusing on the hotel and hospitality side of it, and the other one is the tourism manager side. So, in your year three, as we were just showing on the program schedule, both directions, you all students will be sharing the same courses in year three. That's term one and term two. And in turn 3 and 4, you will still be sharing a few courses together, but then also depending on which directions you're passionate about, you will have all different other selective courses so that you can focus on the two different sides of it.
That is great. Thank you so much, Faye. And while we're looking at hospitality and tourism from a finance standpoint, that should be something that we embrace and not be afraid of, because we will have you trained to a really good level. Whereas if you're going in as a supervisor in maybe in your fourth year upon graduation, you would be able to have those conversations in your unit that you would be working in and maybe being responsible for. So we would get you to that point where you're feeling confident in your understanding of the numbers that would be important for you to have a good grasp on. And that also deals well into things like special events management, where you would work with a budget and figure out how to manage that event. We tend to lean into live events here as well. The instructors for those courses are usually someone that's brought a big group to town. Like last year was the Hockey Day in Canada, and so we worked with that event planner, and that was the instructor. And then things like revenue management, we work with the hotels, and it's a course that we leaned into gamification. So we'll take a simulator and you'll run your own hotel in that. So that also ties into that finance piece. So at the end of the degree, you have all of these really powerful and strong skills that you've learned and been able to amplify your own passion and interests on top of the skills that we bring.
Hey, well, thank you so much, Moira and Faye. That was wonderful. It was a really great overview and a really great, well-rounded program from the looks of it. So I'll invite you folks, if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat, anything at all. We're happy to answer. Or if you don't have any questions right now, I'll also provide you just a little bit of contact information as well. So you can always reach out to us after the session's complete today. So as we wait for any questions in the chat, I'll take us through some details on how to apply. So if you are thinking of joining us in the upcoming intake or maybe in a future intake, just some details for you to consider. So at Rural Roads, we have two ways of admission. So we have standard admissions and we also have flexible admissions. And I'll just touch on both. So standard admissions looks like applicants who have completed a diploma or a minimum of 60 college university credits, including 24 second year credits from a recognized post-secondary institution with a minimum overall GPA of a B-, and at least 420 hours of hospitality and tourism related work experience, volunteer work, or guest services related experience, or cooperative education. We also have some block transfer agreements as well. And we also are just going to touch on the flexible admissions piece. So this is one of my favorite things to touch on about Rural Roads, because I think it offers a lot of avenues for folks who maybe don't meet all of those requirements that I just mentioned. So for applicants who meet the 60 credits but do not meet the minimum GPA, we normally require 1 year of work experience in the hospitality or tourism industry in a leadership or supervisory role. Applicants who have completed between 30 and 59 credits normally require 2 to 3 years of work experience in the hospitality or tourism industry in a leadership or supervisory role. And applicants who have completed less than 30 credits normally require 5 years of work experience in the hospitality or tourism industry in a leadership or supervisory role. That's a tongue twister there. I also want to mention, folks, this is assessed on a case-by-case basis. So this is not something like when you're applying, you choose one or the other. This is just another avenue that we can offer to folks. So if you do not meet those standard admissions requirements and this speaks to you under flexible admissions, please don't count yourself out, and it is assessed. You can always chat. I see Andrea's putting her information in the chat there. You can always chat with Andrea or any one of our enrollment advisors. They're really fantastic, and you can talk through your kind of individual situation as well. We have a quick question. I'll just pause for a moment in the chat. What if you have not been in a supervisory role? I don't know if Moira or Faye, you want to answer?
Yeah, no worries. Sometimes people have responsibilities and they're leaders and they don't necessarily have the actual title. So if you've been, I was talking to someone this week who does the night audit, and while the night auditor or also in charge of overnight at the whole hotel, that's in charge. You're in charge of something and responsible for something. And so if there's even a small team that you've led or something in that you can reflect on, or you've been part of change making or had anything that you could speak to, we also go on case by case. So you might have 10 years of experience, 5 years of experience, and that counts. So speaking to our advisors and our enrollment advisors, and I see Andrea is here, who I just love working with. That there's a hi there. These are one-by-one cases that can also come through to us, and what we find is that people may not realize how much they have done in the time, and they realize now it's time to get the education to go with that. And that's what I think Royal Roads has always been really career minded and looked at those opportunities for people to amplify. Once you get the degree, the statistics are there. It speaks to a higher earning potential. There's evidence of that all online of how a university degree amplifies learning. Earning potential. So those are things to look at, and you might be just at the right time. And I think if that's a conversation with Andrea, then that will make its way to us as well. The other thing too is that sometimes a student might have a lot of experience and speaking with Andrea, may find that they also would be eligible for the master's program. So Andrea would be the one to help figure out what's the best program for the individual. So in my case, I had a lot of work experience, and I didn't have I had a diploma, so I wasn't able to back it up with a degree, but all my work experience. And then it was suggested to me that I look at a master's program because I had so much work experience. So these are different things that, we can talk about as well. And also if the BHTM really speaks to you, also know that you have a direct entry into the master's program. So because you're already part of the RRU community, so we take that very seriously as well. So there's a couple of different things there to not be considered as a barrier for anyone. We'd like to consider the opportunity versus a barrier. So, and I would leave that with my good friend, Andrea Boyce.
That's great. Yeah, thank you so much for answering that, Moira. That's super helpful, especially for folks on the recording. If you're watching this later and you're any of these things are resonating with you, that's really great information. So thank you for that. The next piece I'll just touch on quickly, folks, is language requirements. So at Royal Roads, English is the primary language of instruction and communication. If your primary language is not English, that's okay. You can meet one of our English language requirement in one of 3 ways. So one of those ways is holding a recognized credential from an English-speaking country. Number 2, submitting an English language proficiency test score report. And number 3 is completing one of our Global Learning and Language Center programs. So there are many avenues again for you. And the link to browse through that is on our website as well. So I'll mention all of the stuff that I'm talking about is at royalroads.ca. So if you want to follow up on anything, I'll also be sending you a follow-up email too. But if you have any curiosities, a lot more robust information is on our website. So if you are thinking of applying, some quick steps to consider. So the first is our online application fee is $136.69. And then we ask for some supporting documents. So things like official transcripts, a detailed resume. As we were just talking about that work experience on your resume, really going into detail, like what is your volunteer experience? What is your work experience? Really all of the nitty-gritty details is important to put. A personal statement as well, another favorite of mine. So personal statement is a bit like if you were going to write a cover letter for a job, really detailing what kind of experience do you bring, what do you hope to get out of the program, why does the program speak to you? Again, more details on how to do that is at royalroads.ca, but it's just a nice statement that you include with your application. 2 letters of reference as well, either professional or academic in nature, and then those English language requirements, if that applies to you as well. And some key dates. If you are thinking of joining us, keep these dates in mind. So for the on-campus intake, the start date, September 2nd, 2025, and the application deadline, folks, is in June of 2025, which will be here before we know it. So just be mindful of that deadline. Can't believe it's hard. It's February now. So just want to be considerate of the June deadline. And some services that are available. I know my wonderful colleague Andrea is here in the chat providing helpful links and all things here. If you want to reach out to Andrea, I know she's put her link to book. We also have enrollment services. The whole team is there. Learn.more at royalroads.ca. And then there's some phone numbers if you want to give them a call as well, for local and for toll-free for North America on the screen. Help you with all kinds of things from your application to meeting with staff and faculty or students and alumni as well. We also have our friends at Financial Aid and Award Services where you can explore financial resources that are available to you. So things like loans, bursaries, scholarships, other awards, student research, other funding, all of that stuff is available again at royalroads.ca. You can kind of browse all of the things that we have there for you. And at this point, folks, that is all from me. I will say a very big thank you. Of course, I will be kind of compiling all of these different links into my follow-up here. But yeah, thank you so much for attending. I'll pass it off maybe back to Moira and Faye just one more time. Is there any last things you want to wrap us up here before we sign off the webinar today?
Thank you so much. I think it's a really exciting time to explore education in this field, and the opportunities are enormous right now. Our recent trip to one of the Fairmont properties in BC with the Summit program was looking at the 4th years going into those supervisory roles, and we're very, very grateful to all of those industry partners that work with us. They are just so dedicated and passionate about the work. And I can't say enough about what it's like to be an educator in British Columbia because of the industry partners. And I feel really grateful to be here and to be able to support our students through those networks. And it has not stopped giving at all. And it has become a really great team effort from hospitality and tourism, and the associations that are all involved with each of those areas and disciplines. So I think it's a great place to be and a wonderful career opportunity to really make a difference and to have your voice heard.
Yeah, absolutely. Faye, any last words to wrap us up here?
Yeah, well, thank you again, Ariana. It's just so lovely to have us here today, have everyone here today. I just want to say I feel very fortunate to working with our talented students. They're so talented and so passionate, and whichever pathway that you're choosing, we're here to support you. We are very excited about everything here today, happening in the classroom, outside classroom, and someone got accepted to an amazing program, or, whether you're continue with your master's program or even a PhD, or you're heading to the industry, we're just here for you. We're the cheerleaders here, and we're here to support you in your every step of the way. So we're just very fortunate working here, and I hope to see some of you here one day.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much, Faye and Moira. That was a really, really beautiful way to wrap up the session today. So thank you so much to you folks on the recording as well. If you are considering the program, of course, we hope to see you in our program soon and in a webinar next time. So until then, folks, we wish you a good day wherever in the world you're tuning in from. Thank you so much and take good care.